Hey folks, Sega Sonic fan here, working on the desoldering pump ZD985. I'm sure we've all seen lots of videos, or some videos about these by now. I've watched a number of them, and yeah, I'm not a big fan of this station. It's given me a lot of hardship, a lot of headache. I spent 150 bucks on it, used it about, I don't know, a couple times, half a dozen times, and it broke almost immediately. And I've been trying to figure out, what's wrong with it. I used it for like one job, and that was it. A lot of people have trigger issues. Some people have heating element issues. I haven't had any problems like that. My big problem right now is the air pump. And I thought I'd share with you a really cool diagnostic method and kind of a rundown a little bit of some of the hardware. So inside here, one of the chief issues is there's no way to disconnect things. You'll find that it's real like close connections, and you have all the I should not be touching that. The AC mains is all right here as well, exposed. You'll see the contacts are all exposed, and it's not super safe. I'll try to post some other pictures I took. The grounding wire in the heating element is starting to like burn. Also not great. And I ended up adding a plug here because I needed to remove this pump to test it and work on it. You have to go under here and remove all the screws to everything to get anything to come out, and then it just kind of falls apart because this is only held on by 2 screws. It's all very janky. I have the upgraded version, which has this in the back, which is the DC to DC converter. This gives 12 volts to the motor. This motor has a counterweight and then pulls on 2 different diaphragms to make a pumping mechanism. You have 2 nozzles on both sides, and if you have it set up like this, then air comes out here and it pulls in through this tube. It's complementary in the sense of push-pull for the air, which makes sense because it's using a motor with a counterweight. Some cool things to point out. If you want to test this, I wish I'd done this a lot sooner. I was driving myself unnecessarily crazy. But you can unplug the green and yellow plug here. They're sort of keyed with the red there, FYI. And you can unplug. I also went ahead and unplugged this one down here. And what that should do is let me test the pump by pressing the button, but not heating up. And that's important because if you're spending a lot of time diagnosing the pump, and it's not clogged, obviously you have to heat it up to clear a clog, but it's not my issue. I don't want this to continually heat up while I'm testing and then have to deal with, accidentally touching it or something. So I'm going to go over here and turn it on. You'll see I still have the protective cover over this. I mean, I've barely used this. And it's going to error because of the heat. It's not a pump issue. The pump is kind of dumb, so to speak, which is nice. It just goes to the 12 volt supply and then off to this gun. So the pump is it's kind of stupid. I mean, that's good and bad. I mean, it would be nice to have a microcontroller that could check for clogging, but whatever. You can put a digital voltmeter on the output here and test it under a load to see that it is getting 12 volts. If you want to do that, that might be some indication of a blockage, maybe, if it's a really bad blockage. But I was going to show you another test. Another cool thing is I got for about 10 bucks one of these. This is, if I can pronounce this right, an anemometer. Anemometer. Never used one of these before. I'm not a big, air pump, air pressure kind of person. I haven't worked on a lot of air pressure kind of stuff before, hardly at all. Never worked on repairing aquarium pumps or anything like that. Kudos to the people that have worked on aquarium pumps and such. I really appreciate that you're sharing your expertise on the EEV blog forums. Those people have been very, very helpful. And I've been reading their posts, and I'm going to post there myself, probably with this video soon. But I wanted to show you a trick and then also my problem that I'm having, which are actually very connected. So if you put your anemometer, and these are, like I said, these are about 10 bucks. If you put your anemometer, I'm going to use my foot to actually trigger this because I'm holding the phone. And I'm going to go over here and what it does is it blows that fan with the positive air pressure there. And so you'll see, I gotta get my camera situated a little better. And also, let me see if I can situate this a little bit better. But it gives a healthy rating of 3. If I get a little bit closer, I think I might get a higher. If I get it over there a little bit better. 5.3. So it varies quite a bit depending on depending on the placement of the anemometer, but it's about 5.3, 5.4 by my count. And so here's a cool trick you can do. If you think you have a blockage, like I think I do, my diaphragms seem to be working, is you can undo these. There are some zip ties you have to cut first, and then swap them. So swap each one of these two. Make sure they're on there is pretty good. You can zip tie them if you really want to be thorough, but I don't think it's that necessary. Not for the testing. Obviously for the final, putting it all back together if your unit's working. And so what does that do? Well, now that's going to make this suction, and it's going to make your desoldering pump an output. It'll blow the air out instead of sucking it in. And that's pretty cool. Like, it's a pretty cool little trick, I thought. That's why I'm sharing this video. A nice way to trying to find a way to run this without damaging anything. And let's see if I can angle my camera here